Well, speaking of Spider-Man, yesterday, of course, here on the channel, we talked about the insane historic event that happened that I honestly thought never would. Avengers Endgame made $357 million on its opening weekend, by about 100 million being ahead of the second place thing. It was a record that, quite frankly, if you had asked, I thought maybe would never be broken. And Spider-Man Brand New Day beat it by $3 million, coming in at 360. But lest any of us think, well, that was just a good opening weekend, Tom Holland says, nah, because according to Deadline, Spider-Man Brand New Day has just had the biggest Monday in the history of the box office. The biggest single day Monday ever in the history of the box office,
God.
with $46 million. Now, to put that into perspective, as we look at this was the list of the biggest Mondays in history. At number 5 was Avengers Endgame, that had made $36.8 million on its Monday. Lilo and Stitch surprisingly made $37 million, but the Lilo and Stitch one, that was, I believe, a Memorial Day Monday. So that's why you see it's a little bit higher than you think it would be. Spider-Man No Way Home had a $37 million first Monday. Star Wars The Force Awakens had a $40.1 million Monday. Black Panther had a $40.15 Monday. But now we can see that Spider-Man Brand New Day had a $46 million Monday. Also of note, internationally speaking, Spider-Man Brand New Day has now become the 4th officially movie of 2026 to join the $1 billion club, and it did so officially in 6 days. That makes it the second fastest ever to hit $1 billion. The fastest movie worldwide to hit $1 billion was, of course, Avengers Endgame, which did it 1 day faster. It did it 1 day faster internationally. So these numbers just keep piling up, and they just keep rolling in the echoes of Marvel is dead that we've heard for so long, and comic book movie fatigue and all this sort of stuff. Guy, I want you to wrap your heads around. Sometimes I fear some piece of data comes up and we just glance by it quickly. This movie made $46 million on a single Monday. That is more than most movies make in their opening weekend.
Yeah.
And it made $46 million on a Monday, beating the previous record. But let me pull this number up again. So I want you to look at number 1, Black Panther, number 5, Avengers Endgame. A difference of about $3.2 million. Okay? From number 1 to 5, the difference is only about $3.2 million. Spider-Man Brand New Day is $6 million ahead of Black Panther. Almost double what number 5 difference is to number 1. Like these are crazy numbers, guys. These are insane numbers that we're seeing this. So I think, Kristian, I was probably also of the belief that this is a comic book movie. This huge, massive award-winning weekend, great. And second weekend is also going to be huge. But I thought like the Monday through Thursday crowd, I was honestly expecting 35, 34 million. Like, again, massively huge, but it's like people are just desperate to see it not only again, but see it again quickly. And they're getting back into theaters on Monday. What do you attribute this amazing holdover from the weekend into its first weekday?
Hey, I don't want to go on the weekend. I want to go on Monday when it's not too crowded. Want to go?
Yeah, when it's not too crowded.
And then that didn't work out. But I think people have that idea, thinking like what you thought. It won't be too bad during the week. Well, let's go check it out. And then, or they go back and they want to see it a bunch of different times. I also very curious, like, what is the best Tuesday ever? And what's today going to be like? Because
I'll tell you, because I'm seeing it later today.
Yeah, how crowded it's going to be later.
Yeah. And I want to know, like, what the Tuesdays numbers were, because when I was on my show, I was talking about this, and I said that, the drop off could be, if they have like a drop off, because we were talking about that 3 billion number. And it's like, if they have a drop off, like, because the Odyssey had what, like a 29% drop or whatever.
It was crazy. Yeah.
Something crazy. If they have a smaller drop like that, and that's a hard thing to do, because
it's not possible. I'll go on the record. It is not possible that it takes a 29% drop. There's
29
too many
probably
people
not.
have seen it already.
Right, but repeat viewing and everything too with it. But I wouldn't say not possible again, because it's the same thing I told the commenter. I said, is it unlikely? It's unlikely, but not possible. I didn't think Spider-Man making $1 billion opening weekend was possible. It was tracking for 550. And then it tracked a little bit higher at 800. But I just feel like this movie is doing things in a way because everybody wants to see it. Everybody wants, as you said, it's like it is this huge event. So what is the week? If a Monday is 46 million, what the hell's the weekend going to look like again? So I'm not saying impossible. I think 29 is very unlikely. I think you're looking more at like 45 to 50. Maybe that would be that'd be great.
Well, that would be also, that would be in
$500 million.
People have to understand, for a movie to open as big as Spider-Man Brand New Day, if it drops only 50%,
$500 million, what it would have done what it was projected to do.
It would be crazy. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't remind everybody. If we go back to the last Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man No Way Home, which up until recently had the second biggest opening weekend in history at $260 million. It had a nearly 70% drop on weekend 2. Yeah. Everybody loved the movie.
Right.
Yeah, but for movies, because so many people saw it.
Right.
I think that number is why I like to take a 29% drop at this size.
But John, if I can combat that just a little bit.
Sure.
The only thing with No Way Home was that it was 2021. Pandemic stuff was still kind of going on. That's part one. Part two is IMAX had already come out at the same time. It was released at the same exact time. They're doing this thing because they basically said, "Hey, Odyssey, beat it. We're putting Spider-Man there now in IMAX." And when did the IMAX screening start for that one?
This week.
This week,
I believe Thursday. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Is that it's usually it's.
But remember, it's only about 200 screens. It's only about 200 screens.
Yeah.
That it's getting, and it's not getting the 70 millimeter screens.
It'll be sold out.
They will probably be sold out.
I can tell you my 4 o'clock today, there's only the 2 front rows are available. I just looked. And the 7:30 is almost full. And I looked at non-Dolby. I looked at the others, and the prime times are all almost full. And that's a Tuesday. So.
But I want to remind everybody, if Spider-Man takes a 50% drop, you are still talking. Okay, think about this. If it takes a 50% drop, that means $180 million second weekend. That $180 million second weekend, I believe, would be good enough to be a top 15 opening weekend of all time.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
that's if it's worldwide, you're looking at like close to like 500 million. That's what they projected it at in the first place. Can you imagine if it makes $500 million in its second weekend?
Second weekend?
That'd be crazy.
I just think we as film fans, something like this comes along and we're just quick to just go on numbers. Guys, this is something you really got to pause and appreciate.
Yeah.
Like this is huge what
but
this is doing.
And I always have an issue when people do that. What do you care about the numbers for and the box office for? You're not the one paying for it, because it dictates a lot of different things. And what this movie showed with how many people are going to see it. It's the quality of the movie and showing that audiences would like to be treated with respect, meaning show us characters, show us development, show us emotion, show us those things inside the package of a big blockbuster movie. It works. It helps. You don't need a monster of the week every 3 seconds in order to just, popcorn in the face. I'm not saying that those movies sometimes aren't fun, but this in general, when you put that kind of love and effort into it, you see why people are spending their money on it. And you see like where, and the opposite of that is when you put, if you're a big fan of something, like for me, I'm a big Masters of the Universe fan. I don't like the movie. I don't like this movie that just came out. I know that a lot of people love it. I didn't like it. I didn't like the approach that they did. And because of it, I also think that many other reasons why we're not going to see another one, because it did shitty at the box office. And if it did well at the box office, as a fan, if you love that movie, you're like, why didn't more people see it? That's why you should be paying attention to the numbers.
Yeah. The box office is the literal language that the studios hear from us. It tells us what marketing worked, what didn't work, what were people interested in, what is likely now to happen with future trends. Like I get that all the time too, Chris. Like, why do you care? It's not your money. It's because not the box office, but it's because what the box office tells us. And
yes,
more
and what they're going to be making.
tells the studios. Right. Exactly. Yeah. And they're telling the studios they want more Spider-Man. Guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Spider-Man, Brand New Day, on the heels of having the biggest opening weekend of all time, has just had the single biggest Monday in the history of cinema, and it became the second fastest film in history to join the $1 billion club. What's the roof for this? I don't even know what the ceiling for this is right now. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Guys, we want to take a second and thank a sponsor of today's video, Mars Men. Guys, you know that one of the frustrating things about getting older is realizing that the things that used to come naturally suddenly require a lot more effort. You wake up tired, workouts feel harder, recovery takes longer, and by the middle of the afternoon, your energy and focus can completely disappear. And that's where Mars Men comes in. Mars Men is designed to support healthy testosterone levels, natural energy, and stamina using 8 clinically dosed ingredients. There are absolutely no synthetics or needles, and it's made in the USA and third-party tested. Some men report steadier energy, stronger workouts, and better recovery, and it comes with a 90-day money-back guarantee. For a limited time, our listeners get 50% off for life, plus free shipping and 3 free gifts at mengotomars.com. That's mengotomars.com for 50% off and 3 free gifts when you check out. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support the John Campea Show and tell them we sent you.